All right, once again, we are live and welcome to the Winner Circle, the podcast covering jiu-jitsu, MMA, and all combat sports. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partner, Isaiah Gathings. What's up, man?
What's up?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network, and on Mondays, you got the Winner Circle with myself and Isaiah Gathings. Tuesdays, the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Wednesdays, you can get the traditional way with Brett Shumway. And Thursdays, it's Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with myself and Joe Hartley. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. And don't forget about the main app, the Martial Arts Center Network app. Zeke, it's showtime. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Living the dream, man. It's been 2 weeks, man. So we got a lot to make up for. We got a lot to make up for between traveling and crazy stuff going on over your way. We got a lot to make up for. So
busy.
We got a loaded show today. I'm excited.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you had to come back to Detroit. The weather wasn't bad when you came here, right?
It was cold. It was cold. Cold.
It's starting to warm up now, man. We got up to the 60s, so we finally starting to warm up a little bit, but it's still been a little bit breezy. So if it wasn't breezy, I think it would have felt a little warmer,
Yeah, it was 30 when I was there. So what happened?
All right, so let's jump in our topics. So the first topic that I have, man. So as you can see, Floyd versus Manny 2. Now Floyd is supposedly fighting Mike Tyson in a couple of months, isn't he? But that's an exhibition fight. But he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. Now, a few years ago, 50 Cent said that when you see Floyd fighting on a regular, it's because he pretty much lost a good amount of money. Do you think that is true?
So yeah, I can confirm. When I first saw it, I thought it was it's so scary to click on anything nowadays, man, with this AI and stuff like that and this fake news that you have. So I didn't click on it. And it just so happens I decided to drive Uber one day. I cut my app on, I was driving, and I got a ride off the strip, which I normally don't go off the strip, and it was to Floyd's gym to pick up somebody. So I'm like, okay, so I went to Floyd's gym and I picked the guy up, taking him to the airport, and it just so happened he's Floyd's sparring partner and helping him prepare for his fights. So he's the one that confirmed with me about the fight that's happening at the Sphere, I believe, is with Mike Tyson. I think that's supposed to be in May. It's either April or May. I think it's probably May. He normally likes to do that Cinco de Mayo type of dilly. So it's probably going to be in May, I believe it is. And then he said that was going to be an exhibition, like you stated. And then later in September, probably again for the Mexican independence, he tends to fight on those weekends. Mm-hmm. Then it's going to be the Manny Pacquiao fight, and he confirmed that actually is going to be an actual fight. Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with what 50 Cent said, because we do know that classically Floyd is a big spender, and he likes to gamble. He likes to buy and luxurious things and carry cash around with him and things like that. However, I will say this, and we talked about this on the show a few months ago about relevance and legacy, and how there's a lot of people at 40-0 that's 40-0 right now. That's younger than him and still actively fighting. A couple months ago, you and I spoke about the fact that we were concerned about potentially Terrence Crawford, before he announced his retirement, him being able to potentially reach that 50-0 and maybe even pass it. We even did the math. You looked up to see how old Bud was at the time. We looked about how many fights he would need and how many years it would take for him to catch up with them. And then it just so happened that he decided that he was going to retire. But I believe that a big part of this probably also lies in the fact that Floyd's looking up and saying, right now my legacy is attached to not only being undefeated, but being undefeated and having a better record than anybody else has while being undefeated. And people are slowly creeping up to that. Because otherwise, why wouldn't he just make the Manny Pacquiao fight an actual exhibition like he's doing the Mike Tyson fight? Why is he making it an actual fight? Because he needs it to count. He needs it to count on his record. He needs to be 51-0. And then he'll do some more exhibitions, and he needs to stay one step ahead while he's young enough, because there's people creeping up on that number. And it's happening faster. Younger than he is, They're more active than he is. And I think that he's concerned about somebody surpassing or usurping that number. And then he no longer has that to hang his hat on anymore. And at that point in time, I'm not going to say he's going to fade into obscurity, but to be honest with you, he's just not the most likable person. So the minute that somebody passes him up and moves on to another level, then, his stock, his reputation is just going to diminish, because right now everything that he is tied to not only being undefeated, but being undefeated with more wins than anybody else while being undefeated.
Yeah, so he's at a crossroad because I think if he loses this fight to Pacquiao, fight number 3 is going to be huge money-wise. That's going to be a big money fight. And if he is looking for money, then that is the way to go, honestly, because he can't lose. He can't lose.
I
know his ego doesn't want to lose, but man, that fight is going to be 3, the third fight. That will be huge for boxing and for his pockets. He doesn't really have, if he's trying to come back to box for money, he doesn't really have a lot out there for him. He's not going to fight Canelo again. Canelo's too big now. So he will be out of his mind to want to fight Canelo again. And the only other fight is Crawford. And I don't think he can beat Crawford at all. I can't see that happening. Do you want to see Floyd against Tank? I don't want to see that fight. I don't know if that will be a big money fight or not. But I definitely don't want to see that. So the best bet, honestly, will be a third fight with Manny. But he's not. I mean, there's no point to having a third fight if he just goes out and wins the second fight against Manny.
Is that true though? When Manny fought Marquez 4 times and got starched on attempt number 4, which again I feel bad for him because he wasn't supposed to be fighting that fight. He beat Timothy Bradley, and because of the fact that the judges got it wrong, it sent them both down paths they were not supposed to be on. Tim was fighting people that he was not good enough to be fighting, and Pacquiao was fighting people that he had already beaten before, whether you agree with the decision or not, and ended up getting knocked out. I mean, but in a terrible knockout, by the way.
But you got to think about that time also. At that time, Manny really wanted to fight Floyd, and Floyd did not want any parts of him at that time. So he didn't really have a lot of other options left to really fight, did he, at that time?
He didn't. He wanted to stay active, and Floyd was playing games and wanted him to continue to jump through hoops and prove himself. And by that happening, it actually gave us that fight years too late. Because by the time he worked his way back into contention for the fight, they were both older and nobody was especially interested. And that's the reason why we got the quality of the fight that we got. Whereas if he would have fought him when he initially wanted to, when he was in his prime, I still gave the edge. I thought Pacquiao would have edged him out, by decision personally. And I think that maybe Floyd in his camp probably thought the same. And that's the reason why they kept ducking him. But I don't think they meant to duck him that long. I think they just meant to push him and spin him a little bit longer. And then he messed around and got knocked out. And he's like, oh, man, damn. All right, now what do we do?
If Manny hadn't got knocked out, do you think Floyd would have fought him?
I think he would have fought him. I think it wouldn't have taken as long as it did. He wasn't going to fight him then, but I would say maybe within like another year after that, year and a half, he would have fought him. I think it ended up being like close to 3 or 4 years after that knockout that they ended up fighting. It was something like crazy like that. So I can't remember, but he would have fought him. I just don't think that he would have fought him right then. And he's trying to collect as much data and footage on people as he can too. So he wants guys to keep fighting so he can keep on getting that tape. He keep getting that tape. He can keep breaking down tape and keep on finding ways where he can exploit weaknesses and be successful. That's also a part of his success, his ability to be patient and calculated in making the decisions about his opponents.
Now, with him against Pacquiao being a major fight, do you think it's smart now to even fight Tyson? I mean, because honestly, this is just going to be a glorified sparring match, him against Tyson. But
this can happen. I feel bad for Tyson because they passed him around, they running through him at this point in time. You know what I mean? And I would love to believe that he's being I would love to believe it and hate believe it at the same time. I would like to believe that he's being paid off to go distances or whatever the case is and not show up at Tyson style. I'm a huge Tyson fan, and I believe that I'm friends with Dewey. Dewey is great friends with Mike, and I've seen footage of them training together out Mount Charleston and things like that. And I'm looking at the way Mike's moving, and I know that Mike being on pads is different than actually being in the ring. But the dude don't look like he lost a step when he on those pads. But then when he's in front of these people, he's not performing. And I don't want to believe that it's an integral thing where he's being paid off or whatever. But I'd almost rather believe that than believe that he don't still have the stuff to go out there and handle these people. And the fact that either somebody realizes he has indeed lost a step, and this is the perfect time to exploit him in his older age and in this fact that he's still staying in shape and fighting, or either people realize we can pay this dude off and then get this win underneath our belt and underneath our name. And either way, it looks bad because I feel like they're just passing Tyson along. This was a guy that people were afraid to even utter his name, like Candyman back in the day. You know what I mean? And they didn't want a part of him. Now people signing up and they're raising their hand to fight him. They know something. They either feel he lost a step, or either they feel like that he can be paid off. I'm not sure which of the two it is.
I mean, he's older now. I mean, he's almost 60.
He's still powerful, man. He's still powerful.
Yeah,
he's still powerful.
but still, man. Like, that's the same as any athlete or former athlete. Like, I don't expect Michael Jordan to be able to play somebody that's in the NBA now 1-on-1 and win at this point, and at the age that he's at now. I don't expect that. So Tyson, honestly, man, I mean, if Mike had did right with his money in the first place, I definitely don't think that he will be fighting at this age anyway. So I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean,
these are different weight classes, though, man. Like we're talking about this. These are two totally different weight classes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they're signing up. They're raising their hand to fight this dude, man. Like these two aren't even the same weight class.
Yeah, it makes no sense for Floyd to even want to fight him because, like you said, because
he got to know something. He's got to know something. He has to know who.
He knows that he's not going to get knocked out. He knows that because there's no way. Because honestly, if this was a real fight, I think Tyson knocks out Floyd Mayweather. He's too small. I just can't see him just brushing off those shots. But once again, take 20 years off Tyson and put him in there with Floyd. There's no way Floyd's fighting him. There's no way. I don't see it. I don't even think they will get that sanctioned. I can't see no athletic commission.
Well, that might be why it has to be an exhibition. That might be why it has to be an exhibition because of the difference in weight
and age. Like once again, Tyson's almost
60. But I mean, what we talking about? Like how old is Floyd? Like 47, 40, 48, something like that?
I think yeah.
And then what we talking about, Mike? Is like 50, 57, 58?
I think it's 58 or 59 around there is what I'm thinking. I can look it up.
It's plenty of 10-year age gaps in fighting right now that's currently going on.
No, it's not about but it's about that age, almost 60 years old. Like he's almost retirement. That's the difference. It's not like 20 and 30-year-old fighting.
Yeah, that's fair. It's advanced age. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, we are not supposed to be doing this at this age, at that age. Competing like he's 59. Tyson's birthday is June 30th, so he'll be 60. He'll be 60 on his birthday, so he's 59 now. So I don't know, man. So let's move on to the next topic. So once again, another fight, something that should have happened years ago. Ronda Rousey against Gina Carano. Now, when I first saw this announcement, I thought that Gina would be too small to fight against Ronda. But I remember Gina was in Star Wars. She was in The Mandalorian. When I saw her in The Mandalorian, she was a lot bigger than what I remember her fighting at. But I still think Ronda might be, I believe Ronda is taller than her. But I think they should have had this fight a long time ago. Like, when was the last time Gina fought? Gina hasn't had a fight since what? 2010, maybe 2009. It's been a while.
I think Gina stopped fighting before Ronda started fighting.
You might be right about that. I believe so. I think because Gina lost to Cyborg, I think, And then I think that was her last fight. And then that's when Ronda was coming up in Strike Force, or I think it was Strike Force. I don't think it was Elite XC, but I believe you're right. I'm gonna pull up Gina.
If not, it was definitely a close window of time.
Oh, and Gina's 43 now.
This is it, man. This is our time, brother. Everybody coming back. Old
Hell
rappers
no.
coming back out. Old rappers coming back out, dropping new albums, and fighters coming out of retirement. Yep. And at 40s and 50s and 60s. This is our time, brother.
2009, Gina Carano lost to Chris Cyborg, August 15, 2009. So that was a minute ago. That was a while ago.
17 years.
Yeah.
17 years. Okay.
So she's obviously, I mean, I don't know what her training schedule is or what it's been over the last few years, but she's been an actress. She's been doing things, acting. And I know this is a big money fight for both of them. There's no way the UFC, Dana and the UFC would ever sanction this fight. So I believe this is a fight that's going to be on Netflix, I believe. But what do you think, man, about this fight?
So, unpopular opinion, which I still can't understand why this is unpopular. You know, I absolutely love Ronda Rousey. Definitely one of, if not my favorite female fighters, you know, of all time. And she wasn't ducking no smoke back in the day. She opened the door and was one of the pioneers as relates to getting springboarding women's MMA to where it is today, giving it the proper platform. I remember when, you know, Fernita was fighting back in the day, man. If I told you some of the places that we used to fight at and had to fight at, and she fought on cards with some of those women that was right around the time when Ronda was coming in, or the UFC was letting these women in that were legends. She fought on cards with those people. You know what I mean? Back in the day. And just when I remember going to those shows with those women MMA shows, and it was like, they were like side shows. It was like sideshow stuff, man. It was like, I was looking like, how is this ever going to get any traction? Like, I can't understand how it can possibly get any traction. Like, this is not going to be able to build and go anywhere. And it was because Dana was, you know, hell bent on making sure that women never, you know, fought in the UFC until Ronda, you know, with her fighting style, changed his mind and opinion, you know. And to see how the world turned on her, I mean, she has some mental health or emotional issues and mental health issues with her, you know, her dad having committed suicide and things like that. I don't think she did anything egregious enough for people to have hated her. Like, they turned and hated her, especially after that UFC that Tough show where she was a coach on it. And listen, Chael Sonnen's done it. And he was the best at it to ever do it. And plenty of other people, Conor McGregor, like, they basically, if you, I'm not going to put, you know, words in their mouth, but they kind of basically bit her style of what she did to be able to get notoriety. As far as she just turned her whole character and just, you know, like, I'm not going to be this nice, sweet girl that everybody wants me to be. I'm going to be me and how I feel. And she was direct. She was blunt. She spoke her mind when she was out there, and people didn't like it. But you tuned in, though. She became a character, which is why she transitioned so well to the WWE, because she started looking back at Muhammad Ali. She started looking back at these other people and saying, I'm not going to get nowhere just being good at armbarring people and things like that. Like, yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. But I want to get some paper. I want to get paid. And I want people to tune in, even if they dislike me and they hate me. And she had a very solid, sound fighting style. Not only did she get women, you know, into the UFC, but she put women's grappling, judo, jiu-jitsu on the map, and was just going out there just taking arms, dude. Like, them the fighters I like to see, people that's so dominant in something to whereas you can know it's coming, but you still can't stop it. And she didn't duck no smoke. She finished everybody the same way. And the only reason she lost that fight is because she got beside herself. She started getting people in her camp that was talking crazy to her. Mike Tyson started geeking her up, talking about she can box and she can knock this girl out. And she stood in front of a woman who is a female boxing champ that has almost at the time, she had around the most wins in women's boxing ever in history at the time. She had that. And you're gonna stand in front of this girl and bang when you can take arms, take people down, take arms. She got gassed up, by a professional boxer and Mike Tyson, a legend, and by everybody in her corner. She had her head coach was a boxing coach. What was his name? Edmund something or whatever. He was a boxing coach. And these people gassed her up. She abandoned her game plan. She stood in front of Holly. She got what she got and turned around. And then same thing happened with Amanda, who was far more dominant than Holly is, right? And that was her legacy. But as far as this fight goes, Gina's a striker, right? By nature, she always was. And if Ronda comes to her senses and remembers that she is a bronze medalist judoka in the Olympics, that she built her career and her name on using her judo and using her jiu-jitsu and fighting smart and taking her opponents in realms that she was strong at and they were weakest, she'll be fine. This will be an easy fight that she'll finish her. If she becomes a fool and tries to go back and prove to the world, you know what I mean? Because they had her out there doing the chicken dance the last couple of times. She stand in front of people getting knocked around. If she try to use that ego and pride and stand in front of Gina's gonna pick her apart. I don't think she's gonna knock her out, but I think she'll pick her apart and she'll win. So I'm excited to see the fight, even though it should happen years ago. I think that, I don't want to say that it speaks more that is happening now, but I think that it's a great redemption for her if she comes and she takes the opportunity the right way. She's probably in a better mental and emotional, mental headspace and emotional space she was in before. And Gina had went quiet other than acting. We hadn't seen her in a while, so it'll be good to see her get back out there and mix it up as well.
I'm about to look up to see when was Ronda's last fight. Ronda's 39. I don't know, man. I think that fight is going to be very, very sloppy. It's especially with Gina not having competed. Like you said, 17 years. I mean, sparring in karate, you take time off, you get ring rust. So let alone a fighter doing MMA, your conditioning, you got to be on point after 17 years. Man.
Yeah, think about it though. But both of them have been active though in Hollywood. So they've had to actually train and keep themselves in shape. Gina's an actress, so as you stated, you've seen her in Mandalorian. We've seen her in some Marvel movies and things like that. So the bottom line is, I'm sure she has a very strict diet and training regime in order to be able to continue to play those roles, right? Ronda was in WWE for years, right? So at the end of the day, that's tough conditioning. They're still walking around showing their body. They're still walking around having to be seen in the public eye. And their job still demands that they have some level of physical fitness. So it's not like they're getting up off the couch, right? They are still fit. They might not be fight fit, but they're still fit though.
So Ronda hasn't fought since 2016. That was the last time she fought. So it's been 10 years since she's fought. 10 years for her and 17 for Gina. I think it's going to be sloppy. I definitely think it's going to be a sloppy fight. If they neither one of them can afford the gas, because if somebody gets gas, then they're getting knocked out. I just hope
that Ronda grapples, man. That's what I want to see. That's all I care about seeing. I want to see her use that judo. I want to see her use that jiu-jitsu. I don't want to see her striking at all.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this first. This is the UFC Freedom card that's going to be at the White House Sunday, June 14th. That's different. Most UFC fights are Saturday, but this one's going to be on the Sunday. Okay, so here we go. Here's the main event. Now, the reason I posted this is because Jon Jones saw this come out, and I guess he thought that he was in negotiations to fight on this card. But as you can see, Jon Jones' name is not on here, so it looks like he's out of the UFC now. We talked about this before. So Jon Jones is out of the UFC. Francis Ngannou is out of PFL. Where do these fighters go now to do anything? Because they're not going to be on this card, and we'll talk about this in a second. So,
Netflix. They
Yeah.
might, they might, they might, they might. This could be random and happenstance, or it can be purposeful. To whereas this was intentional, and the timing of it just being not a coincidence, but the timing of it being intentional. To whereas they might be trying to put a super fight together on Netflix between the two of them. I mean, we're talking about this wasn't within not even 72 hours of one another, one getting released from one
Mhm.
organization, and then I believe that John was released from the UFC. I know it's conflicting things because I know you said he retired. I'm not really sure which of the two is true,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
either way, he's out. Whether they got rid of him or whether he retired. So as far as fight wise, that might be a super fight that they may be looking to set up or something like that. As far
Now,
as directly to your question about where do these fighters go to get work in, to get other fights in, the answer is nowhere. I mean, unless they're going to go to one championships, but I don't think that either of them are seeking
mhm,
continued fighting careers anyway. They're only seeking super fights. If I'm being honest, I don't think they want to be on nobody's roster. If I'm being honest with you, so you got Francis wants to box. That's where the money's at, the big
mhm,
money, and not a lot of organizations are going to let him be able to split his time. And Francis has all type of organizations and nonprofits and philanthropy. Does a lot of philanthropy work back in his own country. So he's just kind of fighting more like whenever he gets the itch, whenever he feels like it. That's why he fights so infrequently. He's not interested in having a heavy a schedule, and he knows that if he signs with somebody, he's going to be responsible for doing that.
mhm.
John is similar. John is just he's John, man. You don't know what's going on with these guys here. So I don't think either one of them really care to try to sign with another organization because of the expectations and responsibility that'll come with it. But I do think that they're both interested in fighting still, and then they'll probably use a platform like Netflix or something like that to be able to put it together, either another fight with a different opponent or maybe do a super fight, with the two of them.
Mhm. Now, I mean that, like you said, that you hinted, like Netflix would be the perfect place to have that fight between them. And the person that has the deal with Netflix is Paul, right? Not Logan. What's the other one?
Jake?
Um, Jake Paul. Does isn't that MVP? Isn't that what he fights? So if I was him, I would put that together. He can get the money together, and he'll probably be on that card as well, fighting someone as well, which would make sense, and I think Netflix will be happy about that. Did they try and fight each other before, or did Dana want them to fight? What didn't something happen with that?
Yeah, it was talks around it, but John's always in trouble, and then so it was never a good time. Either John was in trouble with the UFC or in with the law, or going through whatever he was going through, getting popped for doping or whatever the case is. And then when he was fine and he wasn't in trouble, then the Francis either was indisposed, getting ready for boxing, traveling, injured, or disinterested at the time. It was like one of those relationships that just never, the timing was never right, right? So it didn't happen. But if I have to, if I'm a betting man, I'm betting that all of this is happening either because this was something that they've already set their sights on doing and they needed to be released, and not have a tether from their organizations, or because of the timing and when it happened, they're looking to be able to try to negotiate something now. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So let's talk
This
about this
card though
card.
looks stacked though. Let's take a look at this card, man.
That's what I was about to ask you. What did you think about this card? Did they get it right when they put this card together? So we got Topuria against Gaethje, Pereira against Gane, O'Malley against Sahabi, Ruffy against Chandler, Nickel against how do you say that?
Kyle
The
Dawkins.
the cost
Kyle Dawkins.
Dawkins. Okay, and Lopez against Garcia. What do you think?
It's a solid card. I didn't see it until you just posted it, so
Oh,
this is my
okay.
first time me getting eyes on it. This is my first time getting eyes on it. So it's a lot of good stuff here. All of these fights appear to be very competitive. I would think all these fights would be competitive. If I had to take picks right now, um, I'd probably go. Um, I'd probably go Garcia over Lopez. It's going to be a very tough fight. Both of them are very, very tough game fighters.
I don't think Lopez could afford to lose another fight.
I don't think so.
Mm.
I would go Garcia over Lopez, and for one of the reasons you just articulated as well. I'd go Bo Nickel over Kyle Dawkins. I would go. I don't know about that Rufy Chandler fight. I want to say Rufy, but Chandler is he's a beast. So I'm gonna go Chandler, giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think that probably, and again, maybe I need to see him or watch some more of his fights. Probably the most mismatched fight on the card would probably be the O'Malley and the Zahabi one, in my opinion.
Why you say that?
I think that O'Malley's gonna walk through him, unless Zahabi wrestles. So, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get close enough with that reach and that range to wrestle. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to see him or the fight again, because maybe the way I'm remembering in my head is different. But just looking at those two names, it looks like a mismatch. But I'd have to take a closer look at that one before I would say that. But I'll pick Malley over Zahabi, just the same. And again, maybe I don't know. I've never been big on Cyril Gane. I don't think he's that tough. I think that Pereira walks over him because they're both kind of. Cyril can wrestle. He can wrestle, and he'll probably try. I wouldn't call him a pure wrestler though, where it's just like a foregone conclusion and he's going to get this fight down, and Alex is not going to be able to get up. I think Alex is going to put him to sleep. So because Cyril is primarily a striker, and again,
didn't they just fight a couple of months ago? Is this a rematch?
I don't remember.
Is this not the fight where Cyril Gane poked him in the eye?
Is it?
Hold on, let me take a look. Take a look. He poked someone in the eye recently, and that was a big problem. Let's see. Gane versus Pereira. Let's see.
These things, man, they happen, and then they're gone. This for me. It's like, oh, it happened. That's right. I'm all in. Talk about it now. And then I'm like, really? They fought? Did they? What happened?
No, I don't know. Let me see. I don't see it. No, but this is for the interim title.
I think Alex will sleep him. I think Alex will sleep him. Yeah. That's the vibe, man. It's that French kickboxing. I don't think it's gonna stand up. I don't. So yeah, I got Alex over Cyril, and then I got Topuria over Gaethje.
Oh wow, really? I was going with Gaethje.
Nah, see that's that blue-blooded American. I want to see a good scrap. I'm sorry, red-blooded American. I want to see a good scrap type of approach, and that's why people love Gaethje, who actually, believe it or not, is a wrestler, right? And never wrestles. I think that Topuria is smart. I think that Topuria is going to remember that this is both a fight and a competition. And I say this over and over and over again to people. It is a fight and it is a competition, right? And why is that important? Is that the fight part you have to have in you. That's that dog you have to be able to stand in front of somebody and do what's necessary to pull out that victory. The competition is, where am I better and where's the other person worse, right? Or just maybe, where's the other person bad at? Not if it's necessarily, okay, well, I need to take them there, or I need to focus my training on, or if there's any uncertainties where we don't know how he performs in this particular position, which we'll talk about in a moment when we get to the card that happened yesterday, then being smart enough to say, this is where I'm going to cast my net. I'm not going to fight a person in the one arena or area that they have a chance to beat me. That is competing. That's being smart and competing. So I think that Topuria has the dog, the fight in him, and I think that he's a smart enough competitor to where he's going to start putting Gaethje in some positions that he doesn't feel comfortable. And everybody else is going to hate it because they're going to be boring, because they're going to be like, oh, man, we want to see him stand and bang. It's like, yeah, that's what boxing, kickboxing is for, right? This is MMA. So that's that red-blooded, I'm ready to just see two people stand in the center and scrap it out with gloves.
I've never seen Topuria fight, so that's why I picked Gaethje. But I have seen Gaethje fight plenty of times, and he likes to bang. Let me go back real quick. Cyril Gane, the fight I was thinking about was against Tom Aspinall. That's who he poked in the eye, and that's right.
So
All right. So
It's a good card though. It's gonna be solid. Very competitive. Good card.
Back in the day, they would have UFC would have had their major hitters. The Chuck Liddells, the Tito's, the Randy Couture's, Matt Hughes, George St. Pierre's would have been on this card. Is this equivalent to those fighters?
No, and it's at the White House, so it don't really make a whole lot of sense to me either. Now that we're talking about it out loud, because if the objective was to be able to do at the White House and try to show how American this sport, this activity is, well, we have Topuria, right? In the main event, the co-main event has what's this? France versus was it Brazil? You know what I mean? Then we got what's that underneath that? O'Malley's fighting somebody from Canada, and then we got that's America versus Brazil, America, and then Diego Lopez. Okay, well, I mean, I guess I know what you're trying to say. Mm-hmm. You're saying that are these the big guns? Are these
that's what I'm getting at. That the UFC has
they load this thing up.
Yeah.
No, this ain't that. This ain't that, in my opinion. I'd have to sit down and put some thought into what a card would look like with the big guns. Mm-hmm. But that's not taking nothing away from the competitive nature of this card and the how accredited and great these fighters are. These are really good fights. Mm-hmm. I don't think that is, to your point, I don't think it's that kind of heat. I think that they could have, if they wanted to if they wanted to load it with all of their super duper heavy hitters, I wouldn't say that this is it, but I'm going to say that it's going to deliver though. This card is going to deliver based on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about last night's card. Let's talk about this right here. So I missed it last night, man. I was through last night and I went to sleep early. My son texted me at 9:50 and I didn't even respond. I didn't even see it. And that's not like me. I'm normally a night owl, but yesterday, man, I was burnt out yesterday. So this is the results. The main event: Max Holloway against Charles Oliveira. I never can say his last name. Oliveira. What'd you think of the fight? Now, I saw online a lot of people were upset about this fight. And I don't know if you know this, but I saw also, because this was a decision, right? And Max Holloway received his black belt from his instructor, is what I saw online. Now, he lost the fight and got his black belt. How does that work? I know that might be a touchy subject.
It was a jiu-jitsu black belt?
That's what I saw. I'm gonna try and pull it up. Let's see where.
Because I thought I saw something like that too. When I tell you right now, man, my time is so spent that I don't have time clicking on fake stuff no more, man. I'd have been duped and clickbaited to exhaustion. Mm-hmm. I would scroll past something and it would interest me, and I would just not click it with my thumb because I'm like, I don't believe it. I don't believe you. I believe there is going to be some BS.
Oh no, he got it,
or some AI stuff.
No, he got it. It's on Yahoo Sports. So yeah, he was awarded his
black belt. Jiu-jitsu black belt?
Yep, jiu-jitsu black
jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It's okay. So let me answer your first question first. What do I think about the fight? I was telling people asked me who I had. I said I had Oliveira to win. I love Oliveira. Not a fan of Max. Not a fan. And again, I think we talked about this before. People are like, you ain't a fan? What's wrong with him? It's like, this back up here, right? Not a fan does not mean I don't think he's good, because every time he fights, I bet against him and he sleeps to people. Like, I mean, I think he's a fantastic fighter. Me being a fan is me not being not a fan is me not being a fan of his particular style. But it doesn't mean that it's not effective. It doesn't mean he's not a good fighter. There's really nothing wrong with him, to be honest. I don't enjoy that style of fighting. And the reason why is because of exactly what happened yesterday, which is why I'm surprised this hasn't happened before. I think that people were upset. People are frustrated because of the BMF. So they are thinking that people are going to stand and bang. And in most of those fights, that's exactly what happened. There's very few grappling components. But if people ask me, why would I choose Charles over Holloway? I said, here's how it's going to go. If Charles wrestles early and often, I believe that he's going to actually, number one, is going to take some of that power off of Max's strikes because he's going to be thinking about defending the takedown. His strikes are going to be less frequent. So he's going to strike more infrequently because, again, in his mind, he knows that Charles is going to be shooting at some point in time. I said, if Charles wins, I think he can get the sub or he'll win by decision if he wrestles early and often. I said, but if he allows it to get towards the end of that round, that last 30 seconds or so, and Max starts pointing down at the canvas in the center, and he decides he wants to try to stand in there and put on the show and entertain people and put his manhood and ego out there, he's going to get slept. He's going to get knocked out. And I thank God that didn't happen. And people are mad, and I'm happy that they're mad because the bottom line is this new generation of people that don't want to see wrestling and grappling need to get the hell on. Well, it's MMA, he only laid on him. No, he tried to finish him. He didn't just lay on him like people were complaining before with what I can't even think of his name right now in his last fight. I can't Kazmat or whatever Chimev. People were upset with his fight, talking about he just laid on him. It's your responsibility to get up. If you can't get up, it ain't my job to sit up there and help you get up and stand up there and put my chin out there and put myself in a position to where I can get knocked out when I know I can best you, like I talked about a little while ago, by taking you to a realm that I know that you can't compete with me at. I don't know why more people haven't been putting Max on his back. He hasn't shown us anything and given us any indication that he's able to work out of bad positions throughout the course of a fight. Maybe once here and there, but overall, no. People are so busy trying to bang with him and show that they can knock him out or withstand his strikes, and then they wake up looking at the lights and looking at the ceiling. It just doesn't make sense. It was a smart approach, and the bottom line is that I'm really happy that he took that approach. Now, to give somebody their black belt who in jiu-jitsu, who just got schooled the whole fight and couldn't get up, is absurd to me. Forget the fact he lost, because yes, he did lose, right? The dude lost in jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. He lost in jiu-jitsu. If this was a jiu-jitsu competition, he couldn't stop him taking it back. He couldn't get out. He couldn't do anything. Why would you?
The picture I saw when it said that Max Holloway received his black belt was a picture of him in a rear naked choke. And I'm like, wait. I'm like, why are they using this picture to say that he got his black belt? Because
it's the only picture they have. He was in there for half the fight.
Okay, go ahead.
We got to stop it. We have to stop that. I tell you what, this is what we're gonna do. So the tournament that's coming up, the next tournament that's coming up, we're gonna be there, and then one of our students gonna get sprayed at 10-zip, and we're gonna stop the match. Okay, let's stop the ring, everybody. All right, today I won the award such and such with their black belt. So it's gonna be a red belt. A red belt's gonna be fighting their ring. They're gonna get beat 7-0 or whatever. You know what I mean? They're gonna be crying on the side or whatever else. Hold on, everybody, real quick before we start the next match, next division. I want to promote my student to black belt. They're like, didn't he just lose 7-zip? Is this the time you want to do that? Us using these public platforms to be able to put people in these positions is what's ruining our activity. It doesn't make sense. These ceremonies were done decency and order inside of your own facilities, inside of your own dojos, your dojangs, your academies, your gyms, whatever you want to call them. And they were done in settings that were appropriate and made sense. I mean, this was the wrong fight to give it to them. They even giving the black belts, jiu-jitsu black belts away to people who knock people out.
Yeah,
do one punch, knock him out. He gets jiu-jitsu black belt. Yeah, that don't make no sense. He knocked him out.
No,
that was boxing. That was kickboxing. What do you get the black belt for? So I listen. I think that they got it right. The people that's mad, again, I will say to you, looking straight in this camera, and I will say this to you: there are sports called boxing and kickboxing, where you can rest assured there will be no grappling involved. But this new age of people who start booing the second people start tying up and they start taking the fight to the ground or holding them down or whatever, you're not an MMA fan. You don't need to watch this activity. And you know what else I love and I find interesting is that for all these people who hate wrestling, how is the RAF taking off the way that it is? I mean, I love that thing, man.
Really?
Have you watched RAF yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's 100% pure wrestling with all of the people from UFC And all the people, the big names, the people, Henry Cejudo just competed, Clay Guida. If you were a wrestler in the UFC and then people didn't like you, now they're going over to RAF and they're actually just wrestling with the singlet on and everything. 100% wrestling rules. No hybrid, no combat jiu-jitsu where there's punches here and there. Straight up wrestling. And they're packing out these arenas and people are watching it. They're tuning in to wrestling.
Is this the same event that Hulk Hogan was a part of?
This is new.
Yeah, I know. Hulk Hogan was starting one before he died, and it was called Real American Wrestling or Real American Fighting. It was Real American something, and then he died.
Well, if it's Real American Fighting, that's what it is. RAF. That would be that.
I'm gonna look that up to see if this is the same organization because he was promoting it. Him and Eric Bischoff were out there promoting it right before he died.
Let me tell you something. I love it, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. And a lot of people like it as well. You can finally see your favorite UFC superstars or people that you've watched all the time that didn't get any credit for their wrestling just going up and wrestling. One of our guys, Bubba Jenkins, he just wrestled on the last one that they had. He came up short, but again, he's fought, all over PFL and who's the Brave champion and stuff like that. But he was a Division I wrestler, out of Penn State. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you're wrestling in MMA, you're getting booed. But if people don't like wrestling, how is the organization getting all these eyes on there? And how is it taking off at the speed that it is?
You know what's crazy, man? The last few UFC fights that I've seen, it was pretty much majority striking. I think 70% of the fights I saw striking. I didn't see much grappling or wrestling or anything. And back in the day when I used to watch all the time, it was a bunch of wrestling. It was somebody was trying to wrestle, somebody was trying to stop them from wrestling, and I have not really seen that much in these events. But all right, what about the rest of this card? Did you enjoy the card?
I did. It was an enjoyable card. Kyle versus De Ritter. At the last second, I changed my bet. I was going to go for Kyle, and then I went for De Ritter, and that was obviously a mistake. Kyle looked great. He was able to sustain. He worked behind his jab the majority of the fight, which is different for him. And he just fought smart. He fought a really smart, calculated fight, and he got the W.
Raul
versus Rob Font. I had the young man winning, and he went out and he did his thing. I'm not surprised of the outcome of that one. He's a good up and coming fighter, very exciting fighter. The Drew Dover one, I saw that one coming as well. I'm a big fan of Drew. Drew was a guy who was arrested out there and starched Michael Johnson. He needs to be done. He just needs to be done. How he keeps on getting these fights is beyond my understanding. Michael Johnson needs to be done. He got stretched out there, man. It was bad. And then the Gregory Rodriguez, I'm a fan of him as well. They call him RoboCop. Hit dude one time. Hit dude one time and just stretched him. And I love it because he looked disappointed. He looked like, are you serious?
I mean, you got to think.
I didn't know this dude was going to be this weak. I put a lot of work in for this dude to be this weak. I hit this dude one time and his soul just escaped his body. Like, he looked really disappointed with the fact that this dude was this weak.
That could be understandable, man. If you train for months and months and months and then you go out and win within the first round, the first minute or so, that could be, I get it. It's like, damn, I did all of that for nothing, but luckily you did it, so.
Right. For me, that's success. That's what success looks like. I want to train hard to make the fight look easy, for it to be easy. But he looked like he just was like, look, man, like I didn't know this dude was going to be this weak. I thought I was going to be out here at least a little bit longer. I put a lot of work in. I was away from my girl, abstaining and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, but the whole card itself was very solid. I did enjoy the card for sure.
Let me ask you this before we move on to the professor's perspective. I think we really want to ask you this, man, because there was a celebrity boxing event went on. And I don't know if you know about this, but are you familiar with Egypt Christ? I think that's how you say her name, Christ or Chris. All right. Egypt is the daughter of Peppa from Salt and Pepper and also Tret from Naughty by Nature, right? So she had a boxing fight. I saw this young lady. I saw her on the TV show Growing Up Hip Hop back in the day. So she was, I don't remember them ever saying anything about her trying to be a fighter or a boxer or anything. But she had a fight yesterday. and man, she got knocked out, and it looked bad. I'm gonna send it to you. She got knocked out, I think, in the second round, and it looked bad. And it goes once again. I'm thinking like she fought against a young woman who was a professional boxer. Her name was Jade Jones, and she got knocked out. It was messed up. But my thing is, man, like these people that be doing these boxing, celebrity boxing, man. Sometimes I think I don't really think they take boxing, the art of boxing, seriously. If you think you can just jump in and box after a couple of months, no. You need years of training, not 3 months, not 6 months, not even a year. Like I don't even think you need. I don't think you can even have 2 or 3 years. You have multiple years. So a lot of people that's professional boxers, they've been doing it since they were in middle school. And you're not, and they got all, they have crazy reflexes and muscle memory. You're not just going to jump in the ring with a pro boxer and think that I'm going to be all right. It don't work that way.
Here's what I find interesting. So a guy that I go to church with, who's a friend of mine, he dances. He's a dancer for Pepper. So he's a dancer and a skater. So he has his own custom detailing business. He details her car, so he sees her, regularly, like once a week. They all know what I do, and like I said, he rehearses with her because he's like one of her main backup dancers and skaters, and he tours with her and everything. Not once has he ever brought up the fact that Pepper has a daughter that boxes, and I thought that was interesting because everybody knows what it is that I do. So just in random conversation, like how people know that you do martial arts, and for whatever reason or another, they feel like every time they see you, they got to talk about something martial art related.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm a human too, right? I'm just like a regular guy also. People be like, yeah, man. So, I remember back in the day, I used to do a little bit. It's like, stop. Let's just have a regular conversation. Like you don't have to force this. You don't have to do this every time that we see one another, right? So, but still, the natural thing for people to do is if they know somebody that is involved in something, they would have brought it up. I think that's interesting because I was unaware of that, and I find it interesting he's never brought it up, but maybe he doesn't know either. So I don't know. But yeah, when you get a chance, send that to me.
I did. I sent it to your Instagram account, man. It's not long. It's like a couple of seconds. So when you see it, it's gonna make you cringe because she gets knocked out quickly and bad. Like she lands face first. So it is. It's definitely not pretty.
Oh. Wait a minute.
Yeah. She's. The way she falls, man, is scary. The way she gets hit and falls.
Oh.
Yeah. Scary.
Oh.
Yeah. But maybe you might want to reach out to them and say, hey, I saw the fight. Maybe I can help you out,
Do you need some help? It looks like you need some help.
Something, because goodness gracious. And from what I saw on the TV show, she seems like a nice person. She seemed like a nice young lady. I don't know if she's still with that guy that she was with on the show, but I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Time for the professor's perspective. Let me see. Hopefully,
all right. So this week I want to do something different. So if you guys been following my perspective, it's always fight related, right? It's always jiu-jitsu or it's technique or it's combinations. So I always give us a treat at the end of the show, but this one's different. And I don't mean to step on Gene and Joe's toes because I know they got the fist kicks and flicks, but I've been hearing about this for some years. So you guys are going to be surprised when you see this, but this one's not about technique at all. It's going to be actually about a movie. So go ahead and roll it for him, Gene, with the volume, please.
Okay, so my secret shame is I have had this movie probably for about 20 years and never even opened it at all. Look at this. It's still in the plastic. I've never watched this movie before. I think I've seen a part of it. Maybe I rented it when I was younger. I remember seeing a little of it. I remember turning it off. And this is kind of my secret shame. People have made fun of me. Many people didn't know this because this is supposed to be a cult classic. So I'm going to check it out. Let you know what I think. Yep, I know. I don't want to hear it. I know. See? Occult Classics. Says it right there. All right, guys. Here we go. All right.
So I've been hearing about this Five Deadly Venoms forever.
I finally finished this cult classic, Five Deadly Venoms. Watched it from beginning to end. And, yeah. So, here's what I think of it. Exactly where it belongs. In the trash. This movie was trash. When I was younger, I remember renting it or watching it. And right around the introductions of the 5 characters, I cut it off. I couldn't get through it. Between half falling asleep and then actually watching this bad martial arts and this convoluted story, this was a waste of my time. I do not regret it all, having waited 25 years to watch this nonsense. Garbage. I'm sorry. There it is. That's where it belongs.
Oh,
now,
boy.
I hope that a lot of people are watching this because I've been getting some backlash. I put it up on my TikTok, and people just like, what is wrong with you? Did you watch the whole thing? Listen, I remember being a teenager, and I don't remember if I rented it or what, but I remember when I cut it on, I started watching it, and early in the movie, they start introducing the 5 Deadly Venoms. And when I saw a dude, I think he was the Toad, when I saw a dude standing sideways off the wall like that, he was just standing there like with his arms folded on the wall, I cut it off. I was like, nah, I'm not watching this. Now, let me make sure before I go any further, you understand something about my martial art preference when it comes to movies. I'm a hand-foot guy, number one. I'm not really big on the ones where the guys will get the swords and all that type. I don't have a problem with certain scenes going on where there's weapons being used. I prefer those scenes. Mm-hmm. I don't want the whole movie being one of those type of movies. I like to see actual empty-handed karate, and you can incorporate some weapon scenes, disarms or whatever. I have no problem with that. What I also hate, and I will not watch any of these movies, is any movie where a man begins to take flight. He starts flying. He starts coming out the sky. He starts standing on walls sideways or running up walls and doing things that defy nature. I am not a sci-fi fan, or if I am, I take it back. I won't say I'm not a sci-fi fan. I didn't put a sci-fi movie in, right? I put in a martial art movie, and as a martial artist, I can't get with that. I understand that it's art and it's all type of other stuff. It's just not my bag of tea. I'm not a crouching tiger, hidden dragon kind of guy where people are jumping on different trees and they're running. I don't like those movies. So the minute I was like this when I was a kid, the minute the dude stood on the wall, I cut it off because I'm like, this is going to be one of them kind of movies. Over the years, people keep talking about how great it is, how fantastic. This is wonderful. I can't believe what's wrong with you. Top 5 of all time is what I'm hearing people say. Even now, top of all time. Even now, when I put the video up on my social media and people was objecting to it, I want you guys next week on this show. You guys can comment. You guys can come on the show next week or whatever. And we can debate this. Because the bottom line is that it wasn't that good to me. It had a lot of potential. It had a great storyline, right? And it just didn't deliver. Number one, I think we only saw one person get poisoned with venom, right? What was the 5 Deadly Venoms? I didn't see all of the venoms. Number two, it was nothing but a lot of meetings and paperwork. My dude just kept on showing back up with the sergeant or the judge or whatever he was, and they just kept on having private meetings. It wasn't a whole lot going on. I'm like, dude, quit meeting with this dude. You have an assignment to do and just go out and do it. The way that they captured the Toad didn't make a whole lot of sense. The way that they took him out didn't make a lot of sense. Everybody else seemed like they was pretty weak. The snake style was horrible. The dude just on his back like this here, climbing and doing this with his arms. That's the snake? That was weak. Like, we've seen some great snake styles in the movies back in the day. Dude standing on the side of the wall. They did all of this practicing for this one finishing move, which was weak. That at the end of the movie where he stood on the wall and they grabbed him each way and stretched him. And listen, the martial arts was bad. If you're still saying in 2026 that this is the top 5 movie of all time, then you need to go back and watch it again, because what I think is you remember the nostalgia when you were growing up with the Kung Fu Theater, the Shaw Brothers karate movies, and when you saw it at that time when you were younger, to you, it was something you grew up watching and you were excited about it. Now in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, with all of the movies we've had come out, with all of the great Donnie Yen, Jackie Chan movies, and all the, even you even use Bruce Lee if you want. All the other revolutionized movies that we've seen from a martial art perspective that has come out, if you still talking about that's top 5 of all time or the best, people argue with me, the best movie of all time, you are clearly speaking from nostalgia. Go back and watch that movie again like I did at your current age and sit up there and say, this cannot be the case. Now, I agree. Had I grew up watching it, maybe I'd give it okay, but I didn't. I watched it in full when I was adult. And Brian talked last night. I hung out and watched fights over his house. He reminded, because he has a great memory, like your uncle. He like, no, I'm gonna stop you right there. We did watch this movie in full about 20 years ago. I said, really? I was like, he's like, yeah. Me, you, Mike Mahadada. He said, and some other dudes. We sat there after the tournament and we watched it because Mike Mahadada was talking about how great it was. And he said, after the movie went off, I called it trash then. 20 some odd years ago. I forgot the damn movie. They found a movie that I had that hadn't been open, watched it again, and still stand behind the fact that it is trash. The overall storyline was good. All right, I'll give it that. But they did not maximize off of it. The martial arts was not unique. It wasn't clever. It wasn't great. And again, it was a lot of paperwork and meetings between these two people trying to sabotage this one dude. Right, and then on top of it, we didn't even see all the Venoms. Right, I thought they was gonna be getting down with all the Venoms. It's like, no, it just nope. My perspective is it's trash. I'm open for debate. Come on with it, bring it, because I'm trying to take all the smoke. Trash, and that's why I put it in the trash.
Probably some of our group members, man. Jeff, Angel, Joe, Chris. I mean, they love all of these old classic movies.
Come on with it.
So I have a feeling they might want to debate with you on that. I have not seen that movie, and I've heard about it for years. I've never seen it.
What? So, look at me. Look at me. How am I gonna act like that? And I just saw the movie. I'm like, what? For real? You ain't seen it? Now I'm acting like everybody else, right? I just saw the damn movie.
That was the purpose of me even having Fist, Kicks, and Flicks, is because I wanted to have a reason to watch all of these old martial arts movies that I've never seen before. So I'm definitely going to throw this one on the list also. So, Joe, I know you listen to the show. We got a list now of about five different movies that Isaiah then brought to my attention. So, we won't have to worry about what we're going to watch next. So, and hopefully, man, me and Joe both been off our schedules lately. So hopefully we'll be able to record Fist, Kicks, and Flicks this week. So, but that is an interesting professor's perspective, man. So
can't wait for you to watch it so I can hear your perspective of it.
Yeah. So you know what? This week we are going to do Bulletproof Monk. So I'm gonna talk to him. If he don't have anything planned for next week, we're gonna watch this one next week, and then we can talk about it.
Okay. So. Y'all go ahead on. I'm not even gonna get started with that one. Y'all go ahead on with the Bulletproof Monk. I've seen that one, by the way.
Man. But you know what? We'll talk about this next week because me and Joe got to talk about it first. But let's just say I'm having a hard time getting through Bulletproof Monk. I'm having a very, very hard time getting through this movie. So, all right,
y'all. We'll talk about it later. I already stepped on your toes already with the Five Deadly Venoms with the Fist, Kicks, and Flick. I ain't about to do it again with the Bulletproof Monk. Y'all go ahead on with that, man. We'll talk about it later because it's a tough watch, man. You go ahead on with it. I'm gonna let y'all have that.
All right, man. You got anything else you want to go over?
I do not, man. All right, great show today, man. Everybody who's watching this, we appreciate your support and your viewership. Make sure that you guys stay safe.
All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, and I will end our stream. Good night.